No matter what level you play at, map control is incredibly important. You're not getting anywhere without it. You're not even going to get to a bomb site. And if you don't do it properly, or at least to the level that you're at, you're just going to get shut down. And there's not even any chance for you to run some of these executes you might see shown elsewhere. So I'm going to look at Astralis' map control and Overpass now. They're really good at changing up the pace, playing more methodical, really just utilizing a lot of grenades really well, and just shutting down any map control for the CT side before choosing their spot to execute. Now obviously a very heavily contested area of the map is that party area. So triple nade, not a bad one, just to potentially deal with that. We've seen Guardian get punished by that before. Now after this initial aggression over here, if you can call it that, in towards the party area, they really slow the pace down. Dupree comes back here to just clear out connector. They're in a good trading setup, Dupree and Magisk in this scenario. And the other two players for Astralis over here towards A just kind of slow it really down. Glave's waiting for a push out towards this area of the map. Same with Device out here towards long. And Zipex has done his standard Molotov and sometimes occasionally a flash in towards short water, trying to deny a bit of information there from the CTs. And you can see he does that pretty much every time. So I'm not going to really talk about this anymore, but in every single clip I show you, Zipex pretty much just throws that Molotov and sometimes a flash depending what they want to do. Now as they're clearing out different parts of the map, these players coming up connector, just basically making sure it's clear so that it's a little bit safer to take this party area. Obviously, Glaive doesn't want to move and take too much control, take too many fights until there is some connector control in. Now notice they're setting up for this long take, so by now we know connector's pretty much clear. Glaive did just slowly pick that one entrance to bathroom, so he knows there's no one really just sitting at that party area. So they know pretty much this initial party area is very clean. I can't actually draw on the map because panorama is very broken, but this area, if you can see through the score, but I'll try to edit something in hopefully. So that's pretty much clear. Glave's just cleared that out. They triple netted it earlier. Connector's there. So what's the next part of this slower default, or if you can call it that, from Astralis? Well, they want to try and take away as much information as possible from the CT side. So there's a couple of things going on right now. The first one being a very basic long control with a double flash come over here. And just a scope in towards this long area. You can see it forced Stewie off. He's a bit blind on the map. And again, that's just information gone right now. SK now no longer have the info. Do they have long control Astralis? They're walking up long. Stewie has to maybe counter flash himself into this. He wants to re-peek because he doesn't want to just dry peek out into this, into Device, because that will obviously just give up the pick straight away to the T side. At the exact same time they've just got this long information, there's going to be a flash coming over from Zipex. That's going to land basically in the middle of this water area. And more information again. Astralis, they're going to hit this A side. So I want to make sure there's no one close water, no one that can flank really fast, because that obviously is a big thing about Overpass. This connector area can be very, very strong for both teams to rotate quickly between the two maps. So with long control or the information gone from SK, they now want to make sure there's no one close, as I said, to fight them in short water. So the flash comes over. They're not really going to take control of it, but they are spotting it, trying to get information. Notice Fallen is actually watching this, but he's forced off the angle, doesn't want to peek out. He doesn't know exactly what's coming in from the Astralis side. Now, long control wasn't the focus of this round. I notice all the players from Astralis now come back and basically group up here towards this bathrooms area. And they're in a really good spacing right now to pretty much trade anyone. Notice if Device gets picked, Magisk is able to swing out. Dupree is also in a good line of sight to play with them, and Glave's just basically clearing out this other avenue in the bathroom. Because if we think about the one avenue that Astralis haven't taken away from SK, is this bathroom area that's often contested by the CT side. They've taken long away, they've had a little look into water, haven't fully taken away, but they know there's no one close by. So it's basically just this bathroom and outside area they need to really hit and execute onto and really trade it as a unit. So you can see they're just focusing on this one area of the map where even if Fur does get aggressive, as it looks like on the map he's about to, these players can all trade each other and in a great spot that even if they do get 1 or 2 opening kills, they can just explode onto this map and really control the fights and the pace of the game after potentially getting this opening kill, or even a trade if Fur does get the first kill. This particular round, Stewie's going to stray out into Device's line of sight before the players now run back here towards long, again checking there's no counter aggression or just basically being very thorough is all it is out here towards long, before Device being posted on this area of the map. Just getting himself in position to throw this execute that's going to come in. So you can see all the information that's been denied right now. And Fur's doing exactly what I said. He's actually dropped his smoke right here, ready to play behind it. I think Stewie was trying to flash him into an angle before Device picked him off. So that's just good map control by Astralis. And not a whole lot of utility used. Another thing to notice is they used utility basically everywhere on the map except this part of area. They used one self-flash from Device to get onto that angle. So it's less of an indicator that they've taken control of this side of the map. And this will make more sense as we compare it to other times they use more utility towards bathroom. So Fur is going to be here, but the rest of Astralis are setting up for this A hit. You can see they're all lining up their smokes right now. We're going to look at what happens to Fur when he tries to play this aggressive angle, which they haven't cleared out. He's potentially going to get one, but look at that spacing right now. He's being double peaked by the next 2 players, and the take is on. The smokes have all landed, and just like that, they're onto the site. They need to clear behind the site. This is a very standard execute. Cold gets Glaves through the smoke, but just like that, they're onto the site. planting the bomb in a 3v3, full bathrooms control, definitely a favourable situation to be in. So just like that, very slow, methodical, taking a little bit of information away from SK at all different times throughout the round. And just like that, they're in a trading position. Bathrooms are one area they haven't traded or haven't cleared out with utility, ready to just explode onto that site as soon as Fur is spotted, also throwing their smokes and utility on towards the A site itself. And then after plan is just the after plan. If you guys don't know how to play this, I mean, I've done a pretty good job here, especially with the AWPer in here. The smoke does come in, can make things a little bit tricky, but players should be able to spray onto the different angles. Dupree's going to clear it out, and this is just easy pickings for Dupree. But that's a slower, more methodical default that Astralis will like to throw in to take away map control with a little bit of utility. Maybe you aren't a fan of slow, methodical map control. Maybe you prefer to just bully the other team away from a certain part of the map, but just take it, basically force them to leave or die with your utility usage. Well, this is what happens to Guardian in this particular round. You can see, look at all the utility being thrown at him. He can't go forward. He's forced back into that line of sight, blinded, and then just sprayed through a smoke. That looks brutal, and it is if you're an AWPer going for that pick. So how exactly does Astralis do this? Well, I think Glaive's point of view is the most important. He throws the killer utility as it is to really box in Guardian almost and give him no choice but to try and run away. He has no real option to fight here towards the party area or play with rain this scenario. You can see Magic's going to throw a flash, and there's also a nade in there as we just saw from Dupree. And that's basically the utility combination. One flash from Magisk, one nade from Dupree, and then what we just saw from Glaive. You see what this does to Guardian. The Molotov, as you already saw, prevents him from getting aggressive, trying to maybe work a pick in towards that playground area. Again, look at the map. Rain was trying to work this pick as well. So these two players trying to get aggressive together really suffocate this area of the map away from Astralis. And it's like Astralis have read him like a book, running this strategy in this particular round. So that's basically what that does. And if Guardian tries to turn away, this killer flash, the second flash from Glaive, is going to catch him as it did right now. So even if he tries to fall away back into bathrooms, he's going to be blind and not really feeling very comfortable trying to go for another pick. In this particular scenario, we'll see that Magisk actually finds him through the smoke, just manages to spray him down. And at the same time, Device is coming in here late, just holding this long angle, and he wins his fight onto Rain. Now, if we continue the round even further, that looks really pretty right now, right? We've seen great map control. They've gotten two players straight away. But you can see there's actually a second plan here from Astralis if these first picks didn't come in. Let's say Guardian escapes, he has to try and run back into toilet to find another angle to work a pick, maybe one outside. We often see players work outside angles. Look at the smokes on the map right now. These are denying any basically viable positions for Guardian to play once he gets pushed off this party area. So you're going to see Glaive actually re-smoke one of these because the smoke did miss. But these two smokes were thrown initially in a round by both Zipex and Device. I'll show him right now. Zipex throws his. Again, he's still outside B, throwing his Molotov to deny short information. Throws his smoke over that lands in the sandwich position. And then the second one is thrown by Device, but he does miss his in this particular round, as you can see. So Glaive has to re-smoke. So you can see, even if Guardian does get away with his life, he's got nowhere to play. He has to fall back away into the bathrooms area and basically concede this party area to the T side. This is just a brute force way of taking this part of the map from the CTs. Just a lot of utility used, a lot more utility than last time. They only have two smokes left now. They can't execute onto the A side as they wanted to, or they could have wanted to in the previous rounds, but they have a different plan and a different idea behind what they're going to do in this particular scenario. Now, they're going to continue through and actually hit B in this particular round. There's not much to break down here, except for the fact that Magisk throws his Molotov a little bit early, and this is the difference between the round, actually, because you can see the players start disappearing as the smoke fades in towards connected to hit this B site. And if that Molotov's up, it probably deters Guardian for an extra 1 or 2 or even 3 seconds. Not a lot of time, but we can see as this take comes in, Karrigan actually plays this perfectly and really shuts this down for FaZe, because that Molotov being thrown just a couple of seconds late lets Karrigan catch these two players in the back at the very last second. So that's a small thing. If that Molotov hits, this round probably goes the way of Astralis. And that's a great, real brute force way of just taking away this initial map control from the CTs, denying information once again what's happening over here towards A, and really picking where you want to hit. In this scenario B, but you can go anywhere you want really in this scenario. Zipex, as per usual, is also out here towards the barrel area, ready to throw some supportive flashes if required. Those players coming outdoor, if that's what the Astralis want to do. So we've seen two scenarios of map control over at A, and both resulted in potential map control at B as well. You see short water was actually flashed or taken in both of those different rounds. So potentially short water control can be taken in either one of those fashions. But also just like a full out, just a brute, let's just take short this round. Well, it's pretty simple. Glaive's going to run in here, put out the Molotov, usually thrown again. Normally there's a Molotov exchange between those two parts, the two short entrances, just because it is a contested area that both teams can take control of. So Glaive's going to just put it out with his molly, as you're going to see. And as per usual, Zipex is going to throw his flash. It's going to pop out as they exit the tunnel with their smoke, and they have controlled this part of the map. However, one weakness of doing this is obviously that Connector could be open. If the player comes bursting out connector and some kind of short crunch, it becomes very difficult to hold that short water. So Magic's job is just to come in here, throw a Molotov ASAP, don't die basically, so he hides for a little bit till the Molotovs are burning, and then smoke stuff to really ensure that there's no CTs coming through this, door is protected, and these players can work their magic, if you want to call it that, in towards the short water itself. Also notice they want control of other parts of the map, so Device does also run out here, throw his nade as per usual in towards that party area, and then a flash also, and actually finds himself a pick in this scenario. So again, you can just see how the connector player really supports those players coming through short tunnel, really taking the short water control early on, applying a lot of pressure towards B, and that's just a great way of getting B control early in a round if you don't want to take it slow and methodical, like those first two getting B a little bit later. That is about it. Make sure to leave any feedback, like and subscribe as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.